Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. This video is for a local customer with 1999 S500. Now, this car came in with coolant leak, very severe coolant leak actually, and overheat problem because coolant would just disappear and it was just gushing out under the car. In this area right here, you can still see some residual coolant on the floor. Actually, I think you just saw the drop. That's from leftover coolant. So the area where it would leak is right behind the wheel, and then under the car, I cannot show it to you, but it's all wet under because when you drive on the highway, obviously coolant is going to be sticking to the bottom of the car because the wind would blow it onto the car body. Now the problem was with these infamous heater core pipes. Those are metal pipes that rot right in this area. They rust out and they start leaking. I'll show you pipes in a minute. To get to these pipes is kind of difficult because the pipes are bent and you basically don't have really much space, and you don't even see the pipes themselves because AC lines, air conditioner lines, are right on top. As you can see, they're right here. You can see those, but you don't see anything under. Well, you see a little bit, but obviously that's not good. It's not a good area. So, and then of course the pipes are bent certain way and they're secured with brackets. There is one bracket that goes here, and then there's another bracket that goes down on the chassis there, somewhere in that area. I don't know if I can show you the opening for the screw. I can't. Maybe you can see it, but probably not. It's just that little dimple over there. I don't know if I can. If the camera picks it up, there's also coolant all over the place, so you can't really see anything much. But there's another point where piping actually screws into the chassis. So obviously you have to dig that bolt out, and then you have to maneuver the pipes. Now, you do want to maneuver the pipes complete. You can rip them out, but you do want to remove them without bending them, so you will know that you do have space to put new pipes in, and you know the trajectory, how you're going to put them in. Because if you're just going to break them, and then you're going to have a lot of trouble reinstalling, putting new pipes in, obviously you cannot just break them into two pieces and just weld them. I mean, you have to go in and feed them through. Obviously when the car was built, the pipes were put in before the engine was in the car because that's obviously much easier to do. So now we do have an engine, so we don't have space for pipes to go in because the valve cover is in the way, so we have to remove the valve cover. To remove the valve cover, you got to remove the fuel lines, you have to remove the coils, the cover on the coils, the wiring that goes up, then the valve cover comes off. We're using the same gasket because this was installed a few months ago, so it's fresh, so it's not going to leak. To get to this area, you have to remove your wipers. Here is the wiper mechanism. These are the whole wiper system. Obviously the wiper blades. You have to remove the cowl. You have to remove those little pieces there, the trim pieces that go around the windshield. And then you have this big cowl over here. That's the water collector, collects the water and drains it down. You have to remove the drain itself. This is the drain. So water that's collected from windshield and gets off the wiper blades in the cowl drains down under the car. So that comes out. Obviously a bunch of bolts here and there, the pipes, screws and whatnot. So difficult task is obviously to get those plastic retainers, these things, because obviously after 20 years they do not want to come out. So they get stuck in there, so it's like, well, I mean, I removed them all, I didn't break any, but it's a job. So we got that out, we got the wipers out, we got all of this stuff out just to get to this area on top. And then on top of that, you have to evacuate your AC system, because once you remove the AC lines, then you have a little more room. And of course the throttle actuator sensor, that's the throttle pedal position sensor, so that has to be away a little bit so you can kind of see here if it's not in the way. The windshield heater connection has to be removed as well. This is your windshield heater control valve. And what else? Well, basically all. There's a little cover over here that shields the heater control valve from the engine heat, the vacuum line for the brake booster, what else, this little vacuum line, not a big deal, and obviously the covering. I'm loosening this thing up, as you can see, so I can move it away. There's a clip over here that holds it through this, so that's not a big deal. Rubber hoses, of course, this is the bottom hose, the top hose is on the bench, so I know which one is where. Now when I when I evacuated the AC, as we can see, we got the AC here connected. When I evacuated the AC, obviously, when you open the AC system, you do want to replace the receiver dryer. It takes about 15 minutes for receiver dryer to accumulate moisture and then gets all, clogged up with moisture. So I did remove the gas, obviously, with the machine, and then I did put in the machine to suck it out for vacuum, and then I put the pipes back on. Right, so the reason for that is I'm actually vacuuming the system, so we do have no moisture in the system, so I can leave it on like that, so I don't have to receiver dryer, replace it rather. And here is our reading, so this is vacuum and it holds. So you see, this is negative, this is vacuum here, and this one is 0, but this is the negative 30, which is not accurate. It's it's got to be about negative 28. That's the maximum you can get. That is that. And so obviously I did have to put it back on. If I would leave it overnight, then we would have to replace a receiver dryer, and that's another task. It's all the way over there. But now the reason for removing the pipes is because there is no room there. I mean, there is room, but when you remove it, you have access to bolts to undo rubber hoses. If you don't undo rubber hoses, you can pull the pipes out. So that is how involved it is. Okay. Now, I'm not installing the foam insert. Actually, dealer doesn't even have it. And the reason for pipes to rust is because moisture traps around that foam insert and rusts pipes out. Now let's go to the pipes. And these are the pipes. I actually have two sets. This is the set from another car that I did maybe like 2 months ago. As you can see, the condition on those. And these are the pipes that I removed. As you can see, they're still wet, because obviously these are all dry because I have them laying around in the shop for a while. Now this is exactly the area where the foam insert is. Okay, so that's obviously a rust spot, as you can see, and I can actually even see the hole, which is right exactly here. You see that little hole? So that's where it was coming out. So that's the problem. I mean, if you look at the pipe, everything seems to be fine except that this area. This is exactly where this foam insert would be, and that's where water would just get soaked in and remain around piping and rust pipes out. So this is how basically it looks, and this is basically where problem is. So pipes are on order, so they're coming tomorrow overnight. I mean delivery overnight, dealer delivery. So I'm going to feed them in. So now my point is this: you have to feed this kind of piping in this particular angle, like this is how they're bent, inside there. You see, like they have to go in there. So obviously, as you can see, it's just kind of funny angles everywhere, and they have to go through there that you don't even see where they come out. They have to feed down a line somewhere down in this area, and you connect rubber hoses. So that's the reason why all of these operations had to be done in terms of the valve cover and AC lines moved out of the way, because I'm going to remove AC lines again to feed pipes in, and then vacuum and recharge AC system with new refrigerant. Even me or the mechanic or whatnot, one way or the other. So this is basically where we are. So we found the problem, and we're halfway there in terms of replacing these pipes. So I did very good progress today. Hopefully tomorrow it's going to take it's going to be easy, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. So actually one of the brackets came loose. I had to redo this, one of the clamps. I do want to use original Mercedes clamps, and where is it? Like one of these, as you can see, I think this one right here. So this one is back in place, in shape, and all that stuff. So I guess I'll wrap this up. This is gonna be it. This is just the first part. Second part will be when I put pipes back in there and call it a day. Good news is that the motor is very nice and clean. I really like it because it's white. So oil changes were done on time, on proper time, not neglected. This is very good because you see how shiny. I mean, it's like how white it is. It's like gray. It's not like caramel color. If you have the engine that is all like brown or caramel color, obviously oil changes were not done on time. Especially over there, you can see a little bit, but once the oil is changed, then it will become clean again. So and oh yeah, I had to loosen the shield over here because the shield is, it's not giving me much room, so I had to bend it a little bit as well just to do that. And that's basically going to cover it, and that's about all. Alright, so this is all for now. This is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. Thank you for watching.